live.
Well, welcome everyone to the Birdcage in Ashland, Nebraska, where tonight, semifinal action of conference basketball. Nothing better than that as this season continues to warm up. And believe it or not, it's starting to wind down, and it begins here with the semifinals. Ashland-Greenwood hosting an up-and-comer, the Conestoga Cougars, at 8-6 on the year. And I'm telling you what, to bring this one to you, folks, I am joined by some of the very best in the business up here in the Crow's Nest. First off, on my left, the guy that makes this all happen, our executive producer, and of course the pride of Philly, Nebraska. Also, state champion basketball player himself down at Beatrice and a Hastings College All-American, Jordan Wallman. And of course, on my right, well, it doesn't get much bigger than this, the superintendent of schools and the pride of Lewiston, Nebraska, down there in the heart near Philly, down there in southeast Nebraska, Jason Leibel. And I mean to tell you, Jason, how did we get the two of you from this small town in southeast Nebraska up here in the booth?
Well, I mentioned, Tim, early on that working with you was a bucket list item, and it's truly a double bucket list tonight working with Wall Dog over there. So, again, the pride of southeast Nebraska, the pride of God's country down there, pride of Philly. Now, he did go to high school in Beatrice. I will forgive him for that, but he's truly a Philly kid, and, it's great to be working with both of you guys tonight.
Yeah, down in those parts, of course, that's fighting words when you go down to the big school of Beatrice.
That's right. It's hard to forgive, but we have.
No doubt about it. Well, listen, you talk about fighting words. This is going to be a fun one tonight.
You bet.
Conestoga comes in here. You know, when we broadcast this game in December, Jason and Jordan, you know, one of the big talking points was, hey, in order for Conestoga to really stay in this game, they got to score. They got some great shooters in Jack Welch and Noah Simonese. But has the context of this game changed a little bit? Because Conestoga plays a 36-34 nail-biter, beats Fort Calhoun in the first round. They're playing some great D. We know the Blue Jays can play great D. So has this changed to what could be a defensive battle?
I definitely think so, Tim. And, again, looking at that game against Fort Calhoun Monday night, that was a kind of grinded-out type battle. I did do some homework, watched Conestoga a little bit on film, and got a scrappy group, an athletic group. We certainly know they can shoot it well, but I think probably some adjustments, and they're well coached. Jason Orange does a great job with them, so an adjustment they probably made from early on is working on the defensive side of things and getting people to turn it over. And of course, it's conference tournament, right? So I think, again, we talked about the records go out the window. We're going to get everybody's best shot being a top 3 team in Class C1. And so it's going to be a battle tonight. And I think another thing to think about is we talked about Monday night, the adjustment, right? Having a 6 o'clock game, no girls game before. We got off to a little bit of a slow start. We'll see. I know Coach Mose and Coach Craven talked about maybe changing some things up and how they approach the game and their preparation. So I'll be interested to see if that change happens tonight.
And it's interesting as well to see that the crowd tonight, it's a little more electric in here, a little more noise already. There's more people here, and we're still a couple of minutes away from opening tip than there was, of course, Monday night when the boys played. So a little more atmosphere.
Yep.
And Jordan, I'm going to swing it over to you here real quick because the Blue Jays, you talk about an incredible stat line. On Monday night, they played 2 quarters and gave up 2 points. Shut down their opponent Monday night in the third quarter, didn't give up a single point, and just gave up 2 in the first quarter. How good is this Blue Jay defense?
Yeah, we kind of talked about it, about how that defense has been really consistent, maybe in the face of some of that inconsistent shooting. But I know Coach Mose is really excited to get it kind of back into his best player scout. You know, they really need to slow down Simonese tonight. Jack Welch is a great compliment. But overall, Conestoga wants to run and gun, play fast, pretty similar to how Platteview did. So I think Coach Mose is pretty locked into the scout tonight.
And listen, Jason, nothing like a semifinal of a conference tournament. This is where things start to pick up. The intensity picks up. You've played in a lot of conference games. Of course, you were head coach as well. What's it like when you get to the semifinals? You start getting down to the nitty-gritty here of these tournaments.
You bet. You know, tournament time, I think this conference tournament prepares you for when it gets to district time and maybe a run at state as well because you're playing lots of games in a short amount of time. And, again, the intensity picks up with every game. You know, our goal is to get to the championship Saturday, and we'll have a really nice crowd there, potentially playing a DC West team. They're hosting, but we got to take care of business tonight. So it's a lot of fun. It's something you really get geared up for, and it's going to be a battle, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and you know, Jordan, when you come into a game like this and the Blue Jays playing the kind of defense they are, if you're Coach Ahrens, now tell me what's going through his mind as far as trying to, of course, take on this big beast in Ashland-Greenwood tonight. How's he attack it?
You know, I think you can look at some of Ashland's recent games, and they haven't shot the three extremely well. Conestoga wants to run and go, and they want to play fast. So I see Ahrens coming out and just shooting it, taking shots when they're open, getting Seminoles into sets. But it's going to be fun. They like to go. We like to go. We can see a lot of points fly up on the board tonight.
Well, we are now going to pause as we get ready to play the national anthem here in Ashland, Nebraska, right before the semifinal game between Ashland-Greenwood and Conestoga. As Dustin Detterdine, our athletic director, now introduces it.
Please stand. We'll head here for the playing of our national anthem.
All right, national anthem in, and that means it's time for the starting lineups here between Ashland-Greenwood and Conestoga. The second time they've played this year. Conestoga comes in here at 8-6 on the year. They've got some shooters, folks. Let's start first off with Owen Tropholz, just a freshman, a 6'2 freshman, averaging just a hair over 7 points a game and 6 boards a game. And then the chairman of the board, Jack Welch, a 6'1 senior. He averages just over 3 assists a game and 9.5 points. And Noah Simones, the 6'1 junior, 14.1 points a game. He's shooting 38% from beyond the arc. He'll be tough. We'll keep an eye on him. Andy Lamore, the 6'1 sophomore, averaging 2.1 points a game. And the fifth starter, Zachariah Smith, a 6'4 junior, averaging 8 boards a game, but he can score as well. 10.5 points a game for the Cougars. And now for the Big Blue, it's the same way they've gone through 15 games, and that's Dane Jacobson, a 6'2 junior, averaging 6.8 and 2.9 assists a game. Cade Bridges, boy, he can shoot 45% from beyond the arc, averaging 9.5 points. He's a 6-foot senior. The 5'10 junior, Brooks Kissinger, make that the 6'2 senior Brooks Kissinger, averaging 16.5 points a game and just under 3 assists. And then, of course, Cougar Consom, a talented 6'3 senior, averaging 9.5 a game. And Dawson Teese, the enforcer, averaging just over 4 boards a game. And it'll be Kissinger. He'll be going up against Zachariah Smith, the 6'4 junior, as the officials come out here to get this thing started. The semifinals of Nebraska Capital Conference action, and it'll be Conestoga winning the opening tip. And up they come against that vaunted man-to-man defense. Simones off the glass, won't go, and the rebound down to Bridges. Quick out to Jacobson, and he'll bounce it over to Cougar, attacks from the right side. Blue Jays will face man-to-man. Here comes Dane. He comes down on 2 feet, gets it out to Cougar for a 3, and it's too hard, but there's the enforcer on an offensive board. Teese, ball fake, kicks it out there to Bridges, and it's stolen.
Well, Tim, you can already feel a different intensity level, different pace of game right here. Simonini's from Conestoga took it hard to the rack, and loved Dane playing off 2 feet. Found Cougar in the corner for an open 3. He stepped right into it, just didn't hit it. But I like seeing that aggressiveness from Cougar.
And a couple of quick shots here right away by Conestoga. Simonini's not able to knock it in off the glass, and then an air ball just a moment ago, which you don't see Conestoga do that very often. And so we're still scoreless as these two teams tangling here in the semis. It'll be Jacobson, and errant pass, and that's a second turnover. Jason, one of the things Coach Mose told me, 7 turnovers was his goal tonight. We've already got 2.
Yep. Again, a little bit of a shaky start, but we're being aggressive offensively. Dane's looking to attack. I love when he has that look in his eye. I think it's there tonight. And just a little bit of better execution, take care of the ball. We're going to be fine.
So here come the Cougars, trying to get an early lead. They got the first bucket against the Blue Jays in December right here in Ashland. They're going to try to do the same as Troffelt's the freshman, where he's got a future for him.
Yes, he does. Good-looking athlete.
And here's a little spin move by Welch. He'll gets it back top of the court. Troffelt's. Here's a 3. Going to put up by Lamore, and there's Teese on the board. Blue Jays have a man down court. Didn't see him. That was Bridges. As Kissinger will kick it out. Blue Jays will reset. The Big Blue would like to just get a shot off here. Huh?
That would be great, yep. Coach Mose would love to see that as well. So we're going to be patient here.
As it'll be Jacobson attacking. Finds Kissinger on the cut. Look at that little scoop shot. And it's 2-0 Big Blue.
That craftiness once again. Played off, again, well off of 2 feet. Went strong to his right, and Blue Jays jump out on top.
So Lamore will work it off to the freshman. Let's see what Conestoga can do against this defense. Blue Jays have shut him out for 2 minutes and 4 seconds, but the Big Blue just got their first bucket of the game. And there's that man-to-man. Crossover dribble here. This is Simonese. He's drawing an attention, isn't he? Averaging 14 and a half.
Again, Tim, definitely see a different level of intensity out of the gate tonight for us.
And here is a missed shot. Might have been partially blocked in there by Teese. Long pass down to Bridges. They'll swing it around. Crossover dribble by Kissinger. And a left-hand finish. My goodness for Brooks.
Off to a great start once again. I think Monday night, first quarter, he maybe had 8 to 10 points, and he's on track for that once again.
It's amazing to watch him work. He just glides through that air, and the Blue Jays with that 4-0 lead. Here's Troffelt's working against the senior. Freshman versus senior, and the senior, he gives him a little bit of an education.
Tim, you talked about Cougars' defense this year and how he's really made some strides, and you can see it right there. He held his ground. Quick hands, got a turnover.
And here comes Cougar down the block. Little scoop pass out to Bridges. 3. Bingo!
Love seeing that driving kick by Coug, and Cade stepped into that shot. He's got a beautiful looking stroke, and it's good to see him get off early here.
Man, does he ever. Shooting 45% from 3 this year. And at one point, we're shooting 51% just about 2 weeks ago.
That's crazy.
That's kind of Jason Lible shooting, and then he comes up with a steal. Bridges attack, shot blocked, but he's fouled by Lamore, and he'll go to the line to shoot a couple.
Well, I said over and over again the other night how well we play off of 2 feet. And right there, Cade did a nice job. He was in front of his defender, but he jump stop, went off 2 feet, drew a foul there. There's a tendency to maybe go up that left hand and fade away from the basket, but he did not do that and got himself to the free throw line.
Coach Aaron's having a little conversation with Ken Marr, the official. Here's the first free throw. It's up. It's no good. Cade shooting 75% from the line.
And you want to talk about God's country, Beatrice, Ken Marr. Beatrice guy, yeah.
I'll be darned. I did not know that.
I had no idea.
Yep.
Hey, here's a Beatrice stat. Beatrice has 9 guys in the NFL in their history. Nate Rohr tweeted this. That's second most of any high school in Nebraska.
Wow. You're kidding me.
Omaha Central's first with 12.
Okay.
Nate Rohr, the voice of the Huskers, is Beatrice alum as well.
Look at that. Beatrice got some players, and I got guys right and left of me in that neighborhood as well. So it's 8-0 as Cade hits 1 of 2, and now Simonese dribbles an over and back. And by the way, the officials tonight, Bo Heese, Jeremy Wynn, and Ken Marr. So here we go. It'll be the Blue Jays to inbounds, up 8-0, shutting down a good offensive team in Conestoga. Let's see what Kissinger can do here from the block. He'll have his shot partially blocked. Simonese tracks it down in the corner. And so here come the Cougars. Let's see if they can get a bucket. They played half a quarter, been shut down, and they'll work it off that left side of that man-to-man. And you can see Luke Clark is checked in the game for the Big Blue. Here's Troffelt's, this freshman, in some trouble trying to clear out the lane. We got a whistle and travel. That's a good call. You can see the freshman got a little frustrated
and
down
again,
there.
fundamentally sound defense. We're getting after it. We're moving our feet. We're keeping guys in front. That last possession, we went to that little bit of a run and jump that we showed Monday night. Again, just a different level of intensity right now for the Jays.
They're answering the bell here to get things started as Jacobson throws it away. Does he? Yes, he does. It's going to be stolen by Smith, and he passes it underneath to Lamure. And they're going to kick it around quickly here. Here Gethsemane's pull-up jumper from 15, and Noah knocks it home to make it 8-2.
But Tim, we'll take that. I'll tell you what, we did a great job in transition defense. Looked like they might have a wide open layup attempt, but we hustled back and gave up a 10-footer rather than a layup. We take that every time.
Good transition D in a tough spot there, as Zachariah Smith had it running the court. And here's Zimmerman. He'll step through and try that left hand, and the strength of Zimmerman shows through, and it's 10-2, Big Blue. Now we got a
really nice footwork there by Drake. You know, he got his man up near, went back to the left hand, which is sometimes tough to do, but he would look confident doing it and got a nice finish.
And we've talked about his strength this year. He's really worked hard on him. Boy, he just stayed with it. He didn't panic. He got in a little trouble down there in the paint and just worked through it.
He could have forced a pass down low. He did have an open man for a second, but took it up strong, and love to see him being aggressive.
Blue Jays up 8, 2:46 to go first quarters. Troffel's trying to get untracked here. He's been frustrated a bit early on. Luke Clark, you got Kissinger, you got Bridges. Jackson Ham has checked in the game, and Drake Zimmerman. There's the 5 out there for the Big Blue. And working the way in the paint. Stripped and stolen, second steal for Bridges.
Really nice job by Kay, diving down, getting a little bit of a double team, got a nice deflection, and going the other way with it.
And there's a walk there, and I know you wear the stripes occasionally.
I
What's
do.
your thought there?
Yeah, it was a questionable call. That's a tough one.
Little did we know, Leibel is a college official, so I'm excited for my master's class tonight. He's
my maiden voyage tomorrow, heading down to, again, God's country, Peru State Bobcat land, and going to work a little bit of a college game, so this could be interesting.
I could not be more excited to hear what Mr. Leibel has to say tonight.
We're going to watch every single call here. You better be an apologist for these guys in stripes tonight. We're going to tomorrow.
It's a tough job, and lucky I have some good partners with me tomorrow night that's going to carry my weight, and we'll have fun with it. So.
Oh, you will indeed. As Cougar, the senior, the 6'3 senior, knocks it in off the glass. And the Blue Jays out, as Jason has mentioned. They have really answered the bell in this game tonight. They up 12-2 against a hot Conestoga team. Working off a screen here. There's a little pick and roll into Smith. He loses it. Cade Bridges comes out. I think he got popped in the face.
Yeah, whatever messaging or change that the coaching staff, Coach Mose and Coach Craven and others made tonight, it's definitely shown up on the floor because, again, we're just locked in more than what we were on Monday night. You can see it.
Boy, you're right, Jason. You can see it. And the only little blemish in this 12-2 lead is the 4 turnovers the Blue Jays have committed early on. But otherwise, their defense has been stellar.
It's been awfully good quarter.
Yeah.
Again, jump out 12-2 lead against a good team. We'll take that every ball game.
No doubt about that. As it'll be Welch across the timeline. They're going to try to double him. And Welch in trouble, the chairman of the board looking for some help, and he throws it away right there. Jordan Scheil on the bench, he makes the reception on the pass. But that's just, you know, when you get that sideline and you got the trap in the midcourt stripe, it's tough.
We talked about that third defender, using that sideline as a third defender. I love our running and jumping right now. I think we're playing that defense well. Again, part of it is we're quick and athletic. The other part is we just understand how to run that.
And Bridges with a rare miss there from 3. And the rebound coming down to Simonese. His team down 10. Good crossover dribble by Noah Simonese. He'll try to knock it home. Can't. There's Jackson Ham with the rebound.
You tell Noah wants to get on track here. He was aggressive there, took it strong. But again, we held our ground, went straight up, and forced a tough shot.
Here comes Cougar. He'll work in the paint. Dumps it off to Zimmerman. Was going to screen for Drake, but Drake kind of attacked it because Cougar went down there, lost his footing. 12-2, we're under 30 seconds to go. Here's a left baseline drive by Clark. He can't get it to roll, and there's Cougar. But I think he came over the back, and he did.
It's a little unkind on the rim there. I love seeing Luke attack the basket. Again, he's known as a three-point shooter. He does it well. A little shot fake. They had that defender running out at him, and he took him off the dribble and just couldn't quite get the finish, but a little unfortunate luck right there.
Well, how about this, Jason? The Blue Jays are just 21 seconds away from having their second game in a row that they only give up 2 points in the first quarter. Can they hold it here on this Conestoga possession? As Welch says, let's go for one, the senior. Incredibly talented young man, great student. He's doubled, in trouble, trying to step through, and it's stolen by Jacobson with 2 seconds. 1 second, Bridges at the buzzer. Oh, so close by the senior. Wasn't able to get it to go. So we play quarter one, and the Blue Jays, who gave up just 2 points on Monday night in the first quarter, they do it again, Jason.
Impressive. Our defense is pretty outstanding tonight. Again, I think We're playing the passing lanes well. We've came out with some intensity, ready to play. Again, I think the 2 points we gave up was on a tough 10-foot shot, no transition baskets. We've really guarded the three well because they want to get off on the three-point line. So can't ask for much better than that this first quarter. Again, now it is, can we be consistent? Can we sustain this for another quarter and extend this lead at halftime?
And, Jordan, when you hold Noah Simonese, who's averaging 14.1, the 6'1 junior, to just 2 points, I think he was 1 of 4 shooting in that first quarter. That takes a little air out of your sail as well, doesn't it?
It does. And I was talking with Moses this week about the role that Brooks plays on offense and the effort he gives. Obviously, he does so much. They've kind of asked Brooks to step up on the defensive end as well. Taking Simonese on, and he's not an easy guard one-on-one. So Brooks has been stepping up tonight, but Blue Jays are rebounding well, and they're getting off and running.
So we're ready for quarter two. By the way, Simonese, if you know Ashland-Greenwood teacher and counselor Vicky Washburn, that is her nephew.
Yeah, Jordan mentioned that. So, again, he's a nice-looking player.
Yeah, here we go. Big Blue will have possession, up 10 to start the second quarter of the semifinals Nebraska Capital Conference Tournament. As this will be Teese working off the left side. So you've got Teese, you got Cougar, you got Jacobson, Bridges, and, of course, Kissinger to start this second quarter the way they started it. And here comes Jacobson. He's going to work off that screen. A little pick and roll not there, so Dane will dump it off down the corner. Nope, he threw it away. And so another turnover there, number 5 on the Big Blue.
Well, you see Conestoga picked up their intensity right there too, Tim. And, that was probably a message that Coach Arns gave them in the huddle. If we're going to get back into this game, we got to do it on the defensive side of things.
There's that 1-2-2 pressure, and I know you like that one as well. As this time the Cougars break it. Welch pulls up 3, just a little short, and the rebound coming down here to Lamore, and they kick it out to Simonese, but Welch with another board, 2 offensive boards here for Conestoga. And the senior will work it out. Go to the freshman Truffles, working that right side. Look at this spacing right now, Jason.
You got 4 spread nicely, look for some backdoor cuts. And I'll tell you what, one thing when you have a team that shoots a lot of threes, you're going to have long rebounds. And that's so important that you check out on those long rebounds. We didn't do it that possession, but Coach Mo's going to get that addressed.
And Truffles, he came up a little long on that 3. And here's a 3 ball for Cougar, and it won't go. Who's going to track it down? It's going to be Truffles.
Well, it looks good coming off Cougar's hand. Again, you want him to stay aggressive. He's going to get himself going here, knock down a couple shots. That's going to be big for us.
Yeah, you just got to keep that confidence, right?
You bet.
As Welch on the free throw line, looking for some help, and dumps it off here. And checking in that game, or I should say that is Lamore, who's back in. And here's a pass to Lamore, working the right side down on the block. Cougar with a good job. You're shaking your head, Jason. Tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah, just a really, really outstanding defense, making everything really difficult for them. They did get a basket there, but that was a hard-fought possession. Conestoga fought for every pass on that possession, and just love the way we've come out defensively this game.
Well, you got to work for it as Kissinger finds an open Jacobson, and it won't go, and the rebound fought for, it's loose, and the Cougars have it. Down 8.
Dawson Teese fighting hard inside. Buck came up with that offensive rebound. I love how the enforcer plays.
And he is the enforcer, isn't he? Boy, he's strong. And now here comes Truffles. He's going to try to dump it off underneath to Smith, who is yet to really get on track. Misses the bunny there. Who's going to get it? The enforcer does. He kicks it out. And this will be Kissinger behind the back, working on the block, trying to stay strong. So he kicks it out. There's Cougar tracking it down. Good look inside to Dane. Ball movement crisp here right now in this possession, Jason.
Yeah, Conestoga is getting really really defending well right now.
As Brooks steps through, has his shot blocked. What do we got? Travel. Must not have been blocked then, right?
Yeah, I got a little bit of, I thought it could have been a jump ball rather than travel right there. But, again, tough call for the officials. Again, Brooks being aggressive here. Really have seen the intensity pick up on Conestoga's side defensively. So, again, they're really overplaying. So try to get some back cuts and some back doors, get some easy baskets.
Jason Ahrens in his 10th year as head coach of Conestoga. You know his teams fight. And here's a one-handed pass. Can it be tracked down by Truffles? It does, right in front of the Ashland-Greenwood student body, and Cougar knocks it out of bounds. That is a tough pass right there. Just shows you the tenacity of that Blue
Really
Jay
tough.
team.
And, again, we have Conestoga pushed way away from the basket, which I know is a goal defensively. You want to get them away from the hoop. We've certainly done that this first quarter in a couple minutes.
Welch working around that perimeter here. Simonese on the pick and roll, finds Zachariah Smith. Double team, a little flop there by Bridges, but there's Teese on the steal. Cade doing his best soccer flop there on that play.
Yeah, he tried to sell it. But
Oh, bless his heart, love it. Here's Cougar, who loses it on the spin dribble and running the court. Lamore, layup. He's fouled by Dane. Good foul there to prevent the bucket, and Lamore will go to the line to shoot a couple.
Dane did a nice job hustling back, and we call that taking it off at the wrist. You don't want to give them an easy bucket or give them a three-point play. Coach Mo's got to be a little frustrated right now with the number of turnovers. I'm not sure where they're at, but it's certainly more than what he likes at this point in time. Wouldn't be surprised maybe if he takes a timeout quickly here and does a few adjustments, makes a few adjustments.
By the way, that was Lamore's first free throw on the year. He was 0 of 5 coming into the night. Now he's 1 of 6. So you knew it was just a matter of time. He's a good shooter, and he got 2 of them there. So nicely done by Andy Lamore. And now it's 12-6, Jason. Here we go, Jordan. This thing's been cut in half. Blue Jays have been held scoreless.
Sorry, my mic wasn't down. Sorry.
Here's a bounce pass down to Kissinger, working in the paint. He's going to try to get a bucket, and he'll be fouled. Maybe on Lamore. Let's see. Yep, they're going to say it's on Lamore. His first, I believe. Make that his second.
You know, Mr. Leibel, I didn't quite see what happened there. You know what? You want to walk us through that?
Do that play right there?
Yeah, or what was the ref seeing?
The ref seen a strong, aggressive play by Brooks. Took it to the left hand, drew some contact, got himself to the free throw line.
You know,
heck of a call by the official right there. Heck of a call by the official.
Wow.
I'm sensing a little passive aggressiveness on behalf of Jordan.
He's still mad about the Lululemon pants comment. He's upset about that.
Oh, I'm just excited to learn tonight about basketball officiating.
Well, I'll tell you, Blue Jays take advantage of it with those 2 free throws. Look at that move, though, by Simonese. Reverse layup, and it's 14-8.
We talked about he's a nice-looking player. He wants to get himself going here, and one way to do that is be aggressive, take it to the rim, and nice finish with the left hand.
So the Blue Jays being pressed now, 3:50 to go, just up 6. They were up 10 earlier as Teese will attack. He's fouled, gets the bucket, and I'm glad to see Teese go up. Almost hesitated to take that shot, but he drew the foul, got the bucket.
You can sense he was maybe looking to pass first and shoot second, but took it up strong, and we talked about what a strong player he is. And would love to see him do a little bit more of that.
And he puts the Blue Jays up 8 as he misses that free throw. And Conestoga fights over the rebound, and it goes out of bounds off of both Welch and Smith. So the Blue Jays get an easy turnover there, and they'll inbounds underneath their own bucket.
Yeah, unforced turnover there. You know, Coach Orange isn't going to be happy with that. Just 2 guys for Conestoga not communicating.
Here's Clark. He works in the paint. Blue Jays coming down on 2 feet. Well, that'll make Jason Leibel happy. Here's Zimmerman, left-handed layup, not going. Hook will track down the board. Does Bridges get it? No, it went off his sneaker. And so it will be Conestoga ball. 16-8 the score, Blue Jays.
Tell you what, Conestoga's got a little bit of momentum right now. You can kind of feel that they're getting some confidence going, and we're turning it over a little bit. Missing a couple layups here, so we need to close that door, that momentum quickly.
And here's a pass to Leno, just a beat too late there. They saw it, and that was on Riley Johnson, just checked in the game, as Simonese was wide open on the weak side. The Blue Jays get their turnover, and here comes Kissinger, and leave it to the leading scorer to get a bucket here and get the Blue Jays going offensively. He got all the way down, Jason, to 6 points. Now it's back to 10 with 3:08 to go, and that draws a timeout.
Tell you what, Brooks is, again, we talked about crafty, athletic. He's good going to the right or the left. You can see he's confident. That comes from a lot of time in the gym, and he's a tough guard. You know, you can't scout him to force him right. You can't scout him to force him left because he can go either direction. I think one thing Coach Moses is probably addressing right now in that huddle is just the number of turnovers. We need to cut that down, and we do that, make a couple layups. We're going to continue to extend this lead.
And Jordan, you were known as Coach Weeks when he used you. You told me many times you were kind of the defensive stopper. So if you're guarding Kissinger, how do you attack him?
Well,
defensively?
I'll start with this: is that every Monday night in the fall, I would play against him in some scrimmages, and I could never do it. I think you sag off and you make him take threes, kind of the same way in hindsight we should have done a little more to Milliken, because those just off dribble aren't great shots, but. I mean, he's just very, very slippery when he gets in the lane. He kind of gets a little leverage and just makes everything. He's a great player.
Well, they're probably talking about that down in the Conestoga huddle as Kissinger has 8 of the 18. And that's a nice job there by Welch. Just bring that ball up. And here's Johnson, passes it over. Welch looked at a 3, but oh, what a quick closeout by Luke Clark. Man, he was there. Here comes Johnson for a three. He'll hammer it home from the left corner to make it 18-11.
Very nice response from Conestoga coming out of that timeout, getting a big bucket there. Again, they want to keep this within a 5 to 10 point game going into halftime, so really nice response from the Cougars.
Here's Kissinger working with those 8 points. Finds Clark. Blue Jays against this man-to-man. Conestoga's been consistent with it. Why not? They're held this high-scoring Blue Jay squad to just 18 with 2:22 to go in the first half. Zimmerman looks, ball above his head, gets it over to Brooks. Brooks is going to be fouled. That will be the 4th team foul now on the Cougars.
Yeah, see, Conestoga was really trying to crowd him there, not wanting him to get to the basket. He's been able to do that several times, and I agree with Coach Wallman there. You know, Brooks wants to get to the rim, and so Sagoff forced him to knock down a couple threes, which he's capable of doing, but I think that's definitely probably how you want to play him.
And the Blue Jays working around the perimeter here. Conestoga with an impressive win over Fort Calhoun on Monday night. Here comes Jacobson, right baseline drive, gets a man in the air, goes up high off the glass. Nice job by Dane Jacobson to get that bucket. 20-11, Big Blue up 9.
Boy, Drake's doing a nice job out front against Welch, who's a good ball handler.
And now they're trying to run and trap this, and a long pass. Could it be stolen? Can Cougar get it? No, but that's exactly what they're trying to do.
Force that long cross-court pass, which is really difficult. Cougar was right there, got his hand on it. But, again, I would anticipate we'll see more of this running and jumping, certainly the rest of this quarter and probably the rest of the game.
Here comes Simonese. He is a decorated soccer player, and he's just going to go all the way to the rim. No help that time. The Blue Jays get caught napping. It's 20-13.
Well, Coach Orange definitely has his kids fighting right now. There's no quit. There's no backing down for the Cougars. And, again, they want to keep this close getting to halftime and make some adjustments and come out strong.
Now there is a great pass and a beautiful cut by Dane Jacobson to give the Blue Jays a 9-point lead.
We talk about this group and how unselfish they are, and definitely saw it right there, willing to make that extra pass. And Dane made a great cut and got the layup.
And gets a steal. It tips it over to Zimmerman. He tries to step through. I think he threw it away. Coach Aaron says that had to be a travel. That was travel. Catch him.
I would agree with travel, and Coach Moses is talking to Drake right now about playing off of 2 feet and just got himself a little bit out of control there.
And we had a discussion about that 2 feet the other day, didn't we?
We did.
The importance of it. And here's a one-handed pass that goes over to Trofholtz. 9-point game, but the Cougars are staying in this thing as Johnson's going to try to attack. He gets knocked to the ground, and he calls a timeout, and he got it. Nicely done by Riley Johnson, the 5'10 sophomore, who got knocked down and immediately called that timeout. Blue Jays up 22-13. Now look, their standards, they've been so good, 14-1. They're so high, but kind of an uneven night, right? Their defense has been pretty darn good.
Right.
And then they're just having a little bit of moments offensively where maybe they're not taking care of the basket.
I think that has quite a bit to do with the defense that Conestoga's playing. They're getting up in our grill. You can tell that they've scouted well, they're coached well. I think, they're making some adjustments against Brooks. They haven't let Cade get any open looks from the three-point line. I think he had one early. But again, I think it's probably as much about what Conestoga's doing. I know there's certainly some adjustments we want to make on our end offensively, but yeah, they've come out to play.
Well, Jason Aarons comes from coaching royalty.
You bet.
His father, of course, won a handful of state championships, I know, and of course, Jason's been coaching for 10 years here. Played college basketball at Midlands.
Yep, I had a pleasure of watching Jason play a lot of ball when he was at Bishop Newman, and know his dad very well, know the family very well, and he certainly has a high basketball IQ. He knows how to handle his players. He knows how to put them in the right position. So this can be a dogfight.
Man, here's a shot that goes up, doesn't quite connect for Smith. And he tracked it down but couldn't get it. Here's a long pass to Jacobson. Dane looking. Goes corner to Cougar. And Cougar, they said, took an extra step. Ken Moore on the call, so it stays 22-13.
Yeah, just got a little quick with it. You got to get that ball down before you shuffle those feet. And again, Cougs missed a couple threes, so you can tell he wants to get the basket there. But yeah, it's going to come.
Here comes the inbounds for Conestoga. Simonese now been bringing it up. He and Welch have kind of traded off on point guard. And here comes Noah. Two-step stop. Can't get it that time, though. Nicely done to split some defenders. Here comes Kissinger. He looks underneath. He just about traveled, but finds Drake for a tray at the buzzer, off to the right. And so the Blue Jays leading 22-13 going in here to halftime. Jason, give me your assessment. on this one?
Yeah, I felt like we got off to a really good start that first quarter. You could tell our intensity, our mental preparedness and focus was a little bit different from the other night. Maybe dropped off a little bit that second quarter. Of course, again, that maybe has more to do with what Conestoga was doing rather than us. But I think getting off to a great start this third quarter, extending the lead is going to be really important. The longer you let Conestoga hang around, let the Cougars hang around, the more of a dogfight we're going to be in.
Well, no doubt about it. And by the way, we're going to be joined by Danny Beerbaum, who I think is already up here tonight.
Wow.
To chat. Listen to this.
She's on point. Yeah, she's on point.
And
she's
we're
a
going to have
hustler.
you just get that microphone just a little closer if you don't mind. There you go. We got a rookie here, so we got to coach her through it.
Yes, we do.
But it is awesome to have you up here. And let me just get one final thought here from Jason right before we jump in with you. But Jason, 22-13, what's Coach Mo's talking about here at halftime?
You know, I think the number one thing is turnovers, right? Taking care of the basketball. I'm not sure what we ended up with. You know, the stat guru, Mark Adell, is going to be up here in a few minutes to give us the official stats. But I think that's one adjustment. And, again, that's a fixable thing, right? If we can cut those down coming out the second half, I think we can really extend this lead.
Well, listen, we've had some fun in this first half. We're going to have some fun here at halftime.
You bet.
With Danny Beerbaum. And, Danny, thank you so much for coming up here. First off, we got to start with this incredible athletic history. You went to North Bend Central, if I remember right.
Yep, that's correct.
And let's start right there. What was your time like at North Bend? You ended up going to Doane, if I remember. Mm-hmm. And let's just start there because North Bend has had some really good, outstanding athletic teams over the years. What was it like to spend your high school years there and really cutting your teeth on athletics?
Yeah, no, it was great. I had an excellent coach, Jim Dodge. We were state champs twice, my freshman year and my junior year. The other 2 years, we kind of got stuck in the district final. That was before the wild card, before they did seeding. So district final tended to be the state championship against SCOTUS. So, 2 years state champ and had a great time working hard played with my siblings, played with some really good friends, so yeah.
And that can sometimes, when you play with your siblings, be a great thing, and then sometimes that can be a challenge, but it sounds like it was a good experience.
Game to game, game to game, yep.
Hey, let's talk about your time at Doane. And I asked Coach Ahrens this before the game, his experiences from playing college athletics. I'm curious to kind of get your experience. What was that like? What did it teach you? What did you come away with?
Yeah, so I played 2 years at Doane. Got to a point where it was a lot different from high school. You know, you were on a team with lots of great people, and so just learning how to find your role and the position that you played, and it may not have been on the court all the time. It may have been a cheerleader on the bench, and so it was fun to kind of just figure that out. I'm glad I did it because I think I would have regretted not trying it out, but it was definitely something that I learned a lot from, and balancing sports and athletics and academics in college is a lot different than high school. So
just expand on that just a little bit. In what way?
Time management. There's never any downtime because you're either in the gym or you're hitting the books, or you're on the road and you're doing all the things trying to get caught up or stay caught up. So.
Well, I know Jason's got some stuff for you here.
Well,
so look out, brace yourself.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Dan, we were excited and blessed to have Danielle on our administrative team, on our staff. We knew when we moved Jill Finke to the district office there were some big shoes to fill, but Danny's come in and done a fantastic job for us. Works well with staff, relationship builder. So couldn't be more pleased with the job she's doing for us here at Ashland-Greenwood. And we'll forgive her for being a Doane Tiger too. You know, it's kind of like they let the Wahoo guy in when I came to Ashland. We let the Doane grad in too, but no. And little do people know, her picture is up in the Bredo in North Bend.
Yeah, it's
right?
Gambino's.
Gambino's.
Yeah.
And you know you're a legend
Yep.
if your picture's up in Gambino's in North Bend. But talk a little bit about your family, and I know you got a couple girls that are highly involved in basketball and in different sports, and a couple little guys as well. So talk about your family, and you talked about athletics and how important that is for academics. Talk about why it's important for your family to be involved.
Yeah. So it's been great moving to Ashland. A little less coaching from Luke and I on the youth side. We get a little bit of a break from that. We have twin daughters. They're in 6th grade. They love volleyball, love basketball. They're tall like their dad. And then we have an 8-year-old who's in 3rd grade who whatever season it is what he loves. Like right now he loves basketball and he's going to be an NBA star. And then in football he's going to play in the NFL, and baseball's coming up. So he's all about sports. And then we have a 4-year-old who gets drugged to everything but got to play soccer this fall and absolutely loved it. And so, yeah, it's been great for us here. The transition was awesome. Our kids were welcomed with open arms, as well as me and Luke. So it's just been a great move for us as a family.
And you mentioned Luke. I think Luke had a pretty good athletic career at Doane.
Yep.
Well, Fairbury, right?
Fairbury,
and Doane. So talk a little bit about his career.
He didn't retire as early from basketball as I did. He played all 4 years at Doane, and he's awesome. Like, he's tall and he commands the court. He still wishes he could play basketball. He's trying to get into the old man's league here, but I'm a little cautious because he did tear his ACL a couple of times, so I really don't want to have to baby him.
Well, we are putting our alumni team together,
okay.
and really we're really going to more of a selection type process this year. So we might have to get Luke in. Yeah, we're going to do tryouts, and Jordan already talked about that. So if Luke's looking for a tryout, if he wants in, we'll get him in the gym.
Yeah.
Probably run him through the ringer for a couple hours, see what he can bring to the table. But what's really important is is he a pass first guy or is he a shot first guy? Because
this is a very important
I need guys on my alumni team that are going to pass the ball.
I feel like he could do a little bit of both, depending on where it's at. Just going to be honest. Like,
okay, but if I tell him his role is to pass, will he accept his role?
Yeah, and then he would dunk it over the top of
me. Okay, all right.
As long as he just takes his shots in the paint, that's all that matters.
Yeah, shots in the paint. I don't want him out by the three-point line. That's kind of my territory along with Barry Fangmeyer. So, if he can understand his role. A couple years ago, Jordan had a difficult time understanding his role and really probably cost us the alumni tournament that year. I was in open in the corner, giving a double clap. He didn't feed me.
I better make sure
Didn't
that
hear the clap. Yeah.
Didn't hear clap.
Well, you know what? I know that Luke would be a good student, so this is going to happen. I mean, I can't wait to see this.
Well, not only that, we've talked about golf a lot. Luke is one heck of a golfer.
Yeah.
I've never seen a guy that can hit the ball so far, so high in the air and so long. I know you guys get out and do some of that as well as a family.
We do, yeah. I can never follow his ball because it goes way too high and I lose it every time. So I'm not a very good partner to golf with because I lose it. I don't ever find his ball. So.
Well, listen, we want to before we let you go, give us your assessment since you're the former college basketball player, North Penn star, you're featured in Gambinos. So we got to hear this. Give me your assessment of this first half of the Blue Jays here against Conestoga.
You know, I always really liked watching the boys play because of their ability to pass. Like, they're just always right there when they make that pass or there's somebody moving to that spot. And I think they're just being a little bit cautious tonight. So I think that they, could get back to their normal routine of passing it and being confident that someone's going to be there. So I think that'll help. And I just really enjoy watching them. They're a phenomenal player. They're team-oriented. It's not about I see out there. It's always about we. And so I really enjoy that. So I think they'll get it. They'll get off the good start second half.
Well, that was fantastic. I think I just lost my job, Jim.
I was just going to say, she didn't know we were interviewing her.
Wow. Well, I'm out of a job. I can deal with it.
It is so good having you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's great not just having you up here in the booth tonight, but here in the Ashland-Greenwood school system as well. So
thanks for all you do.
So
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. You bet. Danny Beerbaum. And her husband,
the legend,
Luke, of course,
the North Bend Doane legend.
Yeah, and boy, you talk about a segue. How about a legend here in Mark Adell?
There he is, yep.
Who came up here with the numbers for this first half. Mark, what's it look like?
Well, I'll get you to the one difference in the game to start with. We're 9 of 18 from the field, 50%. They are 5 of 16 for 31%. Three-point shooting has not been good for either side. We've each made 1 of 7, 14%. And I think at times we're trying to force inside shots because the three-point shot isn't going, but you got to shoot till you get hot, I think, to a certain extent there. Free throws, we're 3 of 5, 60%. They're 2 of 2, 100%. Rebounding, we've out-rebounded them 9 to 6. They've got 2 offensive, we've got 1. Here is a sore stat with Coach Mose. And I
Here it comes, Tim.
I heard him harping about it. I'm closer to him than you are. 10 turnovers for us. The saving grace, we've turned them over 12 times.
Right.
All right, Mark, thank you very much.
Tim, we talked about that. I think Coach Mo's goal for the game was no more than 7, correct? Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah.
And 10's just too many. So, again, that was part of the conversation at halftime. Again, the good news is with our defensive intensity, we're forcing a good ball handling team into 12 turnovers. He'll take that every time as well.
Without a doubt. And by the way, the Blue Jays actually lost second quarter, 11-10, which that hasn't happened much this year as Conestoga outscored them. But yeah, Jason, to your point, Jordan, to your point, I went up to Coach Mose and said, give me one thing. One thing tonight I'd be looking for. He said, I don't want to see us have more than 7 turnovers.
Okay.
That was the one thing on his mind before the tip. So they're working on that.
Yep, that was addressed at halftime, and it's going to be a point of emphasis this third quarter and second half. And, keep the defensive up, keep sharing the ball. We're going to be fine.
Here we go as we are underway now in this third quarter, and it will be Jacobson, Teese, Kissinger, Bridges, and Konzum. And out there is Troffelts. Of course, you've got Jack Welch and Simonees, also Lamare, and, of course, the fifth starter out there is Zachariah Smith. So here we go. As here comes a 3 by Simonees. It will not go. Boy, that was halfway down, and we got a push and a foul on Dawson Teese.
Yeah, an open look for Simonees. He's a really good shooter. Boy, he's got a nice high release. Tough to get a hand into his face or to affect his shot with a high hand with such a high release, and just in and out for him. But he got a good look at it.
Troffels gets that inbounds pass. Conestoga down 9. They've been playing hard this entire first half, and does Jacobson get a steal? He does. And the Great Dane tries to make a pass, and it goes off the shoulder of Teese. Running the other way are the Cougars. Smith just going to attack it, goes high off the glass. Good job by Teese to defend that.
Boy, Brooksy got in the air right there. A nice offensive rebound. And again, strong defensive effort by Dane. Just got a little bit careless with the ball. I think that's for the 11th turnover. And that was a head scratcher for Coach Mose. You can see down there that he did not care for that turnover.
Look at Kissinger. He says, give me the ball. I'll get it through the hole. And the Blue Jays up 11.
Well, Coach Wallman pointed that out. He's a kid that wants to get to the rim, and Conestoga wants to take that away, but he's awfully tough to defend.
And there's a steal by Teese. He's been banging on Smith all night. Will Brooks attack again? He will. He uses that left hand. He's strong, and he gets the bucket, and the Blue Jays now up by 13.
I love how he goes to his offhand. And again, that's got to have college coaches licking their chops. His coaches at Concordia, you got to love to see that. Again, we talked about his athleticism, creativity. He's got long arms. Right, for his size, he's got really long arms, big hands. It allows him to finish really well.
And boy, you just don't see that much, do you, in high school, when you have that kind of ability with that left hand.
Yeah, it comes from putting time in the gym, and we know he's a gym rat. He certainly does that.
Now Blue Jays up 14 as Kissinger.
And Tim, you also know if Coach Wallman can't guard him, there's very few people out there that can. That guy is a defensive specialist.
Well, when he said that, it was hard for me to believe. But listen. It happens to the best of them, Jordan. I'll just say that.
I've been looking my whole life, and he's the first guy I can't guard. I'm joking.
Let's talk to Coach Weeks about that. Back the other way, 27-13. As the chairman of the board working in the paint, he'll find Troffelts, the freshman. Can't get it to go. It's loose, and there's Kissinger on the board. Brooks will spin around here, finds Cougar Konzum. He works in the paint. And now bounce pass underneath to Teese, off the glass, and look out the Blue Jays, whatever they heard at halftime.
Really nice find by Cougar. Drove it hard to the paint, found the enforcer cutting underneath, nice finish, and a really good start for the Jays this third quarter.
Well, I got to tell you, what a night. And listening at home, by the way, is Larry Scott, and his nephew, by the way, fellas, he's an assistant coach here at Conestoga, and he's just the nicest guy in the world. Josh Schleifert's his name.
Okay.
And listen, one of the things, since Larry's listening at home tonight, I got to tell you, Josh came up to me and he said, we all golf. I know you're trying to break into the crew.
I'm trying to get in the crew.
We all golf, and he said, listen, my uncle's listening. I tell him we've had enough of his foot wedges and his breakfast balls. So I just got to shout that out to Larry Scott tonight, that apparently his nephew is talking a little trash here on the golf game. Sounds like you and Leibel a little bit, doesn't it?
Leibel and I are usually on the same team for golf. We're on the same team for scrambles. We get along well on the golf course. We complement each other well.
Jordan's very analytical. I mean, he's very much about distance and position and angles, and I'm more about just using my hybrid on almost every shot.
Even when you putt. Does he line up your putts, too, for you?
He tries. I don't trust his judgment sometimes, Tim, but he tries.
Oh, I guarantee you he's working against you. Here we go. Simonees comes out of the timeout and says, I'll take that bucket.
He's got a really nice touch. Nice mid-range jumper right there as well. We know he can knock down the three.
29-15 now, Blue Jays. In this third quarter, Conestoga, credit them. They were out of this game in December midway through the second quarter. Tonight, just down 14 midway through the third.
Yeah, kind of another unforced turnover there, Tim, and so I think that's probably, 3 for this quarter, and, Coach Mo's mind, that's 3 too many.
And so now Kissinger will attack from that left baseline, works hard, can't get the bucket, but a foul called on Riley Johnson, the 5'10 sophomore. So there should be a couple of free throws for Kissinger.
Hey, fellas, while we're on this free throw break, I had a pretty humbling moment a little bit ago. I made that joke about looking for someone I can't guard, and I got a quick text from Cale Jacobson. And that's one where I'll admit.
You couldn't guard Cale?
I'll never forget, he came back from his injury, and we played a little one-on-one. I think he beat me 13-0 3 straight games.
Wow.
I said, wow, this is a lot different these days.
Cale, the only question I've got for you is what took you so long? That text should have been
a long time ago.
It was very quick. I've been sitting on that for about 2 minutes now.
So here's a couple free throws. It's 31-15. Simonese says, I'm going to try to get another one. Couldn't get that one to go. And the Blue Jays are running. They're up 16 and in control now here in the third. But Troffoltz, another steal or another turnover. That's
another turnover
for the game. And I don't mean to count them up here, but I just know the point of emphasis tonight.
Right. Just being a little bit careless. Again, defensively, we're playing really sound, fundamentally sound, rebounding really well. It's just the turnovers that are hurting us a little bit right now.
And here we go as chairman of the board, Welch, tries to work off a screen, but the roll wasn't there, so he goes up to Johnson at the top of the key. Here comes Welch for a long three. A little short, but a good rebound by Zachariah Smith. Looking for a cutter. There's Welch, the senior.
Good find right there. Nice cut to the basket. We talked about when teams shoot threes, long threes, there's going to be long rebounds and the importance of checking out, and we just got a little bit lackadaisical and didn't get a butt on somebody right there.
We got a whistle on the travel call here on Drake Zimmerman. And so I have a feeling tomorrow, they're going to be looking at some film.
They'll be watching some film. Yeah, you're pretty sure what they're going to address right now. It's probably going to be turnovers, right?
Yeah.
But again, those are fixable things, right? And you just want to make sure that we continue to lead and win this game. We want to make sure that we clean those up for Saturday.
And Jason, you did a good job of acknowledging earlier too, this Conestoga D under Jason Aarons. It creates a lot of these turnovers too. Good players out there. Troffoltz will try a three, and there's the rebound by Zimmerman. Blue Jays up 14 with the ball, moving it around. And here comes a three by Cougar that won't go.
I love him still staying aggressive, still looking for a shot. When you're open, you got to take it. And then, again, everything looks good. It's going to come. He's going to knock down that one or two, and he's going to get rolling here for us.
Gonzim, about a 35% three-point shooter. So, yeah, as Jason says, he's just got to keep shooting. It'll happen as Troffoltz gets down on the block, finds a wide-open Johnson from the top of the key that won't go. And look at that block out. But somehow, some way, Welch is able to get the board. And the senior, fade away, hits it. It's 31-19. They will not go away.
I'll tell you what, between Welch and Simonese, they're two really good ball players right there. So, again, they're making a little bit of run at us, and we need to respond.
So let's see what the Blue Jays can do here. A lead cut into Cade Bridges, the senior, says, I'll do what seniors do, put the team on my back momentarily, and he's fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot a couple of free throws.
Now, Jordan, back to the defensive conversation. Was your defensive play based off of more being offensively deficient? Was that kind of how that worked, or how did you become a defensive player? Was it the inability to score the basketball?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, there's really nothing I could do on a basketball court other than set good screens.
Okay.
So,
I'd we need a screener. We need a screener.
An overall deficiency in all categories. Defense was probably the one thing that I was slightly below average at instead of terrible. It was a bad joke, and I regret making it. Cale put me in my place, and I'm like, yeah, all right, let's just.
And I know you didn't have the headphones on at halftime, but I might have called you out a little bit about our alumni tournament a few years ago.
It just doesn't stop.
When you kind of stepped out of your role and looked, I think it was Dave Taylor. Was it Dave you tried to take it up against? And Dave's a strong guy.
Oh,
Dave's a strong guy.
That's a tough one to win. I'll tell you right there.
And he didn't, Tim. I will tell you, he didn't win that matchup, and we didn't win the game. But
it was brutal.
Look at Zimmerman work, and the putback by Cougar.
We'll see if that gets Cougar going right there. Get an easy bucket. He ran the floor, followed the shot. Nice finish, and I can see that getting Cougs going here.
Well, this defense continues to be there. Here's Welch again for a three. Can't get that one, but an offensive board, that long one that Jason talked about. When you shoot threes, that long rebound's always a danger. And let's see what Simonese can do. He's going to feed Smith down on the block. Good kick out by Troffoltz, not quite ready. And they're going to dump it off.
Good ball movement by the Cougars right here. Swinging side to side.
Got a crossover dribble here. Oh, will this be stolen? And Bridges alertly tracks it down, hits the layup as Troffoltz was being a little too nonchalant.
Boy, I love that effort by Cade. I know Coach Aarons is not going to be happy by the effort of his young man, and he's getting that addressed, but Cade stayed with that.
Back up to 18. They cut it to 12 just moments ago, and just like that, the Blue Jays explode, and under a minute to go here in the third as they feed the man down on the block. Smith, turnaround, Jay off the glass, and he'll cut it to 16.
Yeah, took it right to Coug's chest there, got off the floor well, and good finish.
Smith averaging 10.5 points just with 2 tonight, so the Blue Jays done a real number on him. Here comes Zimmerman, can't get the left-handed layup, and there's Smith with 37 seconds left on the clock.
Good take by Drake. Probably want to see a little bit more ball movement on a possession like that. I know the clock's running down here, but we gave them the final possession now.
And Welch, the soccer player, he and Simonese, both terrific soccer players for Conestoga. Working off the screen, pick and roll. They get it down to Troffoltz, but it's tipped away and stolen. Here's the outlets to Kissinger. Can he jam it? He does! He hung on there just a second to get it to fall.
We'll take it. Quite possibly could have been a technical foul called right there for hanging on the rim, but the officials didn't blow it, and a nice finish by Brooksy.
Here's Welch at the buzzer and just got the bottom of the net. A little short there. But the Blue Jays up 39-21 going into fourth quarter, and just when Conestoga cuts it down to 12, they go on the run to the Big Blue.
Well, I think the term might be spurtability, right? We have the ability to go on huge offensive spurts, and we certainly did there. And it seems like anytime Conestoga kind of cuts back in that lead, makes it a 12 or 14-point game, we do a really nice job of responding. I think the latter part of that quarter, last two or 3 minutes, we really did a better job of taking care of the ball. And so that's a good sign. We need to carry that into the fourth quarter here, finish this game, and get ready for a conference championship on Saturday.
And, we'll get Jordan in here, but at one point I wanted to make is this, and that is the bottom line. Talk about brains in sports. We were talking about Jack Welch. Everyone I talked to, Tyler Craven, who coached him in the summer, his coaches, Coach Aaron, they all say one of the nicest, most mature kids. And listen, talk about a great student as well. He's an NCSA All-American Award recipient for strength and conditioning. He's at the top of his class. Not sure where he's going to college yet. He also participates in mock trial. He does a little bit of everything. Then you got the Blue Jays. Cougar Kansan puts up a 33 on the ACT. They're getting region scholars. There is so much headiness on both of these teams. And not to leave anyone out, but Brecklin Berg, he got a full ride scholarship to Peru State. He's going to go pre-med.
Okay,
so
yep.
You got to love this as a superintendent. We got some really bright
really
students
great kids
there.
out there on both sides of it, and you can tell the way they play the game as well. That intelligence carries over to the basketball floor, but you love seeing well-rounded young men, young women, and Danny Bierbaum talked about it at halftime of what athletics can feed into academics, and you're seeing it on both teams out on the court right now.
Yeah, really refreshing. And Jordan, I know you probably have thought on that as well.
You love seeing kids get involved in multiple things, multiple sports, as well as activities, and I think that's a huge benefit of being at a smaller school is you have those opportunities.
Kissinger, right baseline drive. Oh, what a great cut by Teese, and he puts it over the rim, but a great cut by Teese.
Can you tell you, we just talked about intelligence, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
Dawson, bright kid, and he saw an open lane there, made a great cut, and again, having that trust that Brooks is going to find him, and certainly did with a nice finish.
Kate Bridges, also a great student, and he's a senior. And here's a block by Cougar Kansan. He'll get across that timeline, and the Blue Jays will set up. They're up 20 now. 7:25 to go fourth quarter. Let's see how the Blue, they came out to start that third quarter on fire. Are they going to do it again? Is Jacobson reverse slip? Yes, sir, I think so. There's 4-0 run, and Dane will go to the line to try to make it a 5-0 run.
Well, Tim, I know you're tired of hearing me talk about it, but again, Dane did a great job going off of 2 feet. Took it up strong, finished with the left hand. Again, a tendency when you take it baseline like that, it would be to fade away from the basket. Our guys just don't do that. So you know that that's coached and that's taught, and our kids are very coachable, and they put it into practice on the court.
And that kid, Dane Jacobson, talking about teachable, how hard they practice, 88% free throw shooter, and he's 1 of 1 tonight. He's got 7 points. Blue Jays increasing that lead as Johnson trying to make it work. Now they work off the left wing, and here comes the chairman of the board. Welch dribbles between his legs, working, has it stripped and stolen.
Good team defense right there by the Jays.
Kissinger running in the paint. Goes off 1 foot, I think, that time, but drew a foul. It was hard to come down on 2 there. There were a lot of bodies in the paint.
A lot of traffic, and again, I think Coach Wallman mentioned slippery, right? He was slippery, got himself skinny on that play, found some room, and got himself to the free throw line.
Yeah, and honestly, I like the way you phrased it, getting skinny. You know,
you bet.
Jordan Scheil really kind of described Brooks in one of the best ways I've heard. He said he starts and stops as fast as anyone he's ever seen, and that includes changing direction and exploding. But you know, Brooks is a very, very good player.
Well, he just got that first free throw. And by the way, talk about shooting free throws. At one point, Brooks this year just barely shooting over 50%. Coming into this game tonight, has improved to 71% from the line. So he's putting
his time in. He's working at it. He wasn't satisfied with where he was at with that type of percentage, and give him credit. He went out and changed it.
And here's another steal by Bridges. He's got a bunch tonight. Here's Kissinger, left-handed layup. My goodness, what a half for Brooks Kissinger.
And again,
timeout by Coach Aaron.
A lot of credit to Cade, too. He's played a heck of an all-around game here. Defensively, he's just kind of been all over the place. Quick hands. Really, he's given us a really nice boost defensively.
I'm counting up the numbers here. 2, 4, 6, 8. Brooks, I've got him for 21 tonight. He had 18 the first time the Blue Jays played Conestoga. He's got 21 right now. And again, he's just attacking that rim.
Again, he's got that look in his eye. We talked about that aggressiveness, and he's so tough to stop. And again, I think that you'll see that continue this fourth quarter. It'll be interesting to see how long Coach Mo sticks with, his starting 5 or his top 7. You certainly want to stay injury-free here. Again, it looks like we're going to finish this off and get ourselves to the championship. So I would guess a couple more minutes, and we'll probably see some of the younger guys on the floor.
Blue Jays up 48-21. As checking in the game, we talked about Brecklenberg, the 6'1 senior who is a young man who's planning on going to med school. Very, very bright senior, and he'll be heading down to your alma mater,
Bobcat
Peru
land,
State.
Yeah. Our HOP program, is that what I read?
That's right, our HOP,
Great program. He'll do well down there.
So here comes Conestoga out of the break.
And we typically refer to Peru State as Harvard of the Plains. So that's, he's going to a higher level academic institution. So
that's exactly right.
That's right.
And there's another high academic player in Welch with the bucket. And it's now 48-23. And here comes Bridges. I just got a text from my buddy Jay Toomey. He said, Cade's going to be Bridges over troubled water. So when he hits a bucket, when we really hit one, a little Simon and goal off the glass for Jacob.
Love it.
Oh, Jay Toomey. Of course, Jay was an assistant coach here at Ashland, and then he just assisted that Weeping Water team, the girls team in one state.
Yep. Yeah, heck of a golfer in his own right.
That's yeah.
He can hit a golf ball.
And Conestoga trying to make it happen. 50-23. The score. 5:15 to go. And working off a screen here, one-handed pass over to Johnson. He'll dribble up top of the key. He's going to split defenders, and he's fouled. And, Josh Sheepert, the assistant coach, talked about this young man, Riley Johnson. He's just a sophomore. He said, Tim, I'm telling you, this kid's really coming.
You bet.
And you can see it tonight. He didn't start, but he's getting some quality minutes off the bench.
That was a nice take by a young man there, being aggressive, being confident. One thing about the Blue Jays tonight, I think we've played really good defense without fouling. I don't know if Conestoga got to the bonus in the first half. We only have 2 team fouls right now, so when you can play the kind of defense that we do without fouling, that's an even bigger bonus. Keeps him off the free throw line.
Well, the first one missed, the second one he got. And I got to tell you, you mentioned Blue Jays playing great D without fouling. I was going to throw that to Jordan Wallman, but I realized he probably couldn't answer that. How I'm playing defense without fouling. So we're going to just keep it over here to the right side of the table.
He's just shaking his head over there.
No blood, no foul. Play hard.
Kissinger works through it. And it partially blocked. He was working hard down there on that left baseline drive.
Yeah, a little bit of a force right there from Brooks. I think if he could have that over again, he'd probably do a little bit differently.
And here's some quick hands and a steal by Drake and Bake Zimmerman. He gets in the paints, cuts through a couple, goes high off the glass, but he's fouled, and that'll send Zimmerman in the line with his team up 50-24.
extending this lead, but we're certainly keeping the intensity up. These are important minutes to continue to play well. Again, we're looking to finish off the game, but also build into Saturday, either playing DC West or Syracuse. I believe they're playing tonight. I'll try to get a score on that, but if it's DC West, you know that house is going to be rocking.
Oh, without a doubt, boy. If they can get through Syracuse tonight, I did say, and by the way, Zimmerman comes out, or Kissinger comes out, and Jacobson is. I know Jason may be efforting to get that score.
Working on it.
I do think Syracuse is going to be really, really tough tonight. I just think they're playing good ball.
You bet.
22 minutes ago, it was DC West 20, Syracuse 22.
Oh, wow.
Halftime.
Got a barn burner over there.
There you go. And that was another free throw that Drake hit. I'm going to call this. I'm just going to tell you, I think Syracuse might pull the upset tonight, fellas. But here's a block by Derek Tonjes
by
from
the big
behind.
freshman. You bet.
And they go out to the hammer. So you got Jackson Hammond. Derek Tonjes, by the way, who had 10 points in his Monday night game in just one quarter. Well, a little more than a quarter play. They got a little more time on Monday. Here, look at Zimmerman working hard. He's in trouble. Uses the left hand. That's creativity.
And just sound footwork as well. You know, he used the pivot foot, shifted his weight, went back to left hand. Really nice finish.
Blue Jays now up by 30. And Conestoga now, they're going to go to the bench as well. Jack Welch and Simonees doing their all here. And Simonees will pull up from 17. Oh, my goodness, good-looking shooter there.
He's a good-looking player. Really like his game.
Oh, look at this look from Zimmerman. Finds Ty Carey for the bucket. Blue Jays back up by 30. And a timeout on the court.
Yeah, Coach Arns a little bit frustrated down there. Just Conestoga lost sight of their man, and a nice find by Drake and a good finish by Ty Carey.
So you guys in these big conference championship games, and the Blue Jays look like they are well on their way to playing Saturday night in the championship game. The emotion and the intensity. You start getting into these late January games too, and they're just a ton of fun. So walk about through some of your memories, Jason, with you in those conference championships, because I know they could get really intense down there.
We played in the Pioneer Conference, tough conference, good basketball conference, good teams with Sterling, Adams. Philly had a really good team, Diller Odell, so really a deep conference. You knew every night that you were in for a dog test. We had a good fortune my junior and senior year to make it to the conference finals. My junior year, I think Sterling hosted that thing, and the place was packed and the crowd was rocking. And then my senior year, we had the opportunity to host my senior year. Got beat by a good Adams team in the finals. But yeah, those are great memories. That's certainly something you never forget. And I think we're on pace here to make some really good memories Saturday night.
And that was a pass by Kieran Sampson, went out of bounds. Jordan, I'm sure you got some good memories yourself of high school.
Yeah, you know, anytime you get in tournament play, it just gets a little more real. The intensity turns up a little bit. So if it's a conference championship, if it's a district, if it's a state, you kind of win or go home.
Here's Derek Tonjes, the freshman. Oh, just about traveled, but he finds Isaac Carson, the junior. Cal Kissinger, a freshman in the game. Ty Carey, a junior. And Lando Mose, a freshman. Carson working. By the way, Jason mentioned this the other night as DT tries to go to the line or go to the rim, and he's fouled on the way, and that should be a one-on-one opportunity. But, you know, Jason, you mentioned this the other night, without a doubt. Last year, of course, the Blue Jays in the Nebraska Capital Conference, where they'd like nothing more to go out with a victory, and whoever plays them would like to obviously prevent that from happening.
We're going to get their best shot, again, whether it's Syracuse or DC West. They're going to want to keep the hardware out of our hands, knowing that we're leaving the conference, and so – again, it's going to be a battle. Looking forward to it.
As Derek Tonjes shooting 85% from the line, the 6'4 freshman, averaging 5 points a game. And you got to remember, folks, that 5 points a game he's averaging is in very few minutes, maybe about 6-7 minutes.
Derek can certainly score the ball. Again, kid that spends a ton of time in the gym, works on his game, works on his craft. And, again, you can see that his ceiling is really high. He's going to continue to be a better and better player.
Conestoga are going to send in a couple more. And they'll continue. So the Blue Jays here, no starters out there, really not the top 8 out there for the Big Blue. And the same for Conestoga, except for Johnson, who makes a nice entry pass, the ball knocked out. And the Conestoga cheerleaders will field that. 58-26.
Quick hands by Isaac Carson right there. And I know Jordan's really looking forward to Isaac this spring on the golf course. I know he mentioned Isaac a little bit last night, looking for some big things out of him.
Yeah, he's a great kid. I love seeing him compete in the winter. And I know he's focused on basketball right now, but yeah, he's definitely got a lot of upside in the spring.
You bet.
Turnover there, and of course Jordan, folks, if you didn't know, he's the boys golf coach. And Jordan, I gotta imagine you're pretty excited about this upcoming year.
Yeah, it'll be good. We got a couple kids coming back with varsity experience, which would be probably one of the first times in my 4 years as the coach. But the kids enjoy it, and that's the biggest thing.
And that is a beautiful feed from Lando Mose to his compatriot, his fellow freshman Derek Tonjes.
I think Jordan's biggest issue on the golf season is again going to be finding the assistant coach, right? I think he's promised that job to about 6 or 7 guys. Coach Valley down here, Fangmeyer, myself.
Everyone volunteered.
He's going to have to land on somebody. Now, I carried Fangmeyer through the entire fall golf league. Out of Country Drive, and so I think that's a no-brainer. Typically you want to take the better golfer out of the two, and between Fang and myself, I carried him through that league. So decision should not be hard.
I would love to get Barry's perspective on that. And here's a miss by Derek Tonjes. Cal Kissinger for a 3. Bingo!
And I will give Wallman one last shout out. The last night of league, Barry couldn't make it. Wally World filled in, and he had the round of his life and helped carry us to a league championship. So we owe Wally World one for that.
It was a good night to have a good night.
Yeah. And you had a good night.
Sometimes they fall, sometimes they don't. You just kind of deal with it as it comes.
Well, I got to tell you, we have a whistle and a foul. All these guys, Jordan, want to assist you in golf, but when it's 42 degrees in March, they're all going to be, listen, I don't know if it's a good day to go out, but when it's 72 in April,
right,
you'll have 4 coaches.
I'll tell you, those are the best days to go out because the course is empty. You go out on a nice May day, and it's hard to get out and play 9 holes in a row.
Those cold days are typically big meeting days for me after school, Tim. I typically have meetings that don't allow me to get out to the course, but.
Oh, I have a feeling impromptu as the first
That's
shot
right.
up. No good. Kissinger running. He's got a 3-on-2. The freshman with a one-hand give to Tonjes. Uses that left hand on the right side, and we're going to see that combination for a few years.
This group has come in and played really well. We talked about the importance of these guys getting some minutes. I think they have a reserve game coming up on Saturday morning, but these are important minutes for the JVers and the reserve guys to get.
5 seconds, and so this will be it for Conestoga. They're down 65-26, and Johnson with a 3 ball at the buzzer. Just off to the right, but the Blue Jays, another beautiful defensive effort tonight. And I mean to tell you, they really filled it up here in that fourth quarter as well. They end up pulling away 65-26 against a Conestoga team exceptionally well coached.
You bet.
Some great kids on that team, and so you take this victory and you feel good about it, don't you,
feel really
Jason?
good about it. And again, I would also feel good about midway through that third quarter, you could see that we really started taking better care of the ball. And again, that was a point of emphasis going into the game. That was a point that was talked about at halftime. We came out at halftime, struggled a little bit in that department. We had a couple unforced turnovers, but we really cleaned it up. And again, I think that's really what helped us extend the lead as well.
So Jordan, Blue Jays going to get into the conference championship Saturday night. Tell me a little bit about, hey, Kyle, tell us just a little bit about your feelings going into this and the kind of momentum they're going into with Saturday night.
I think the best part about Ashland is that they're not going to be content with this. They're not going to be okay with maybe, playing a game that allows them to win. Moses is going to look at the film. He's going to celebrate success, but at the same time, he's going to look at those areas to improve. DC West is always going to bring a skilled team. Those boys in Valley play good basketball, and they're well coached. And there's no love lost. DC West is the second biggest school in the conference. Yep. Ashland is the team that they want to knock out. And I'll tell you, nobody wants to see you win when you're on the way out.
Yep.
They want to kind of be that heartbreak that maybe slows you down.
Well, again, looking at this second half, too, from a standpoint of scoring, the Blue Jays had 22 points at halftime. But, Jason, they turned it on. 43 points in that second half. That is an impressive half to put up 43 points. So I know we've given this defense a lot of love, but the offense responded too in that second half.
Again, it's just, it's what we do so well is just being unselfish, sharing the ball. I mentioned it over and over again, playing off of 2 feet, which I think we probably had 3 or 4, maybe 5 traditional 3-point plays and ones, which means we're taking the ball strong. I just really love the unselfishness. There's a couple opportunities where guys could have forced a shot or maybe taken an off-balance shot, but they played fundamentally sound. Found a cut through the lane. I think Dawson Teese was a perfect example of that at one point in time. And so offensively, just really well executed game.
All right, well, look out. We got all kinds of things coming this way.
Hey,
Michelle
What is
Bell.
that,
we see that
Michelle?
on the
What do we got
Oh,
there?
We went to prom together, and
Oh my goodness!
she brought up
we-
our prom picture.
Is that hair?
Oh, I had hair.
You had it's curly hair. It looks like. It looks like a
You know what?
looks like a Hunter
by the way.
Washburn right there.
Thank
so.
you for going to prom with me, because let me tell you, I gave her $20 to
That's
go to
good.
prom with me, and so.
Oh, okay. And he had hair.
Oh my
you, had,
goodness!
you had curly hair.
Yeah, I had
didn't
like,
realize
well,
that.
and I
Yeah.
can't believe it. I had to look at it twice to make sure it was me.
Oh, Timmy.
My goodness, folks.
That picture needs to resurface at some point in time. that needs to find itself on the web page or.
No doubt. Well, let me ask you this. Hey, you mentioned the cutting, and Jordan, you got it? All right. Yeah, I get it. Okay, all right. You mentioned the cutting.
Yep.
And that's the one thing that I think is an art. We talk so much about the incredible passing that the Blue Jays have, but my goodness, it just seems like these guys know when to make a cut and find the open spots. How do you teach
Right.
it, or is it instinctive?
You can teach it. You can rep it. You can cover it in practice. You can talk about it. You can show them on film during film work. But again, I think the kids, really that comes from just understanding and knowing the game, being smart ball players. It's a timing thing, knowing when to cut, making a hard cut. Sometimes you'll see kids make a cut and they're maybe going half speed, 75%, but making a good cut is about making a hard cut, taking a good angle. And so again, some of those things can be taught, but a lot of that just comes naturally and from knowing the game and understanding the game.
Without a doubt. Mark, sorry, buddy. What I was telling you is the headset's over here. Do you want to put those on, or do you want the microphone?
I don't care.
Yeah, here we go. We'll give him the mic. That might just be easier. As Mark Adell has those numbers for us. Mark, what do they look like?
Well, we shot 15 of 20 in the second half.
Wow.
Wow. Good
Gives
shoot.
us 24 of 38 for 63% from the game. That was a key factor because they were just 11 of 35, 31%. And they just were colder than the weather forecast for next week from 3. 1 of 16, not that we lit it up, but we only attempted 2 threes the second half, and Cal Kissinger made the one.
Yeah.
So we were 2 of 9 for the game, 22%, and that's a little bit of a concern. We play tougher teams coming up, like maybe DC West, who I'm betting on there.
Well, they were in a dogfight.
They were down actually 22-20.
Really?
Yeah.
There have been some upsets in this conference.
bet.
Well, I'm just going to
tournament.
tell you guys that this morning I texted a couple of coaches and said, I think Syracuse might just surprise DC West. Of course, they didn't have a comment. They were like, "Why do you have time to even think about this?" But I did kind of predict that. So we'll see what this comes up. But
Okay.
Mark, you keep rolling here, partner. That was
All
really
right.
irrelevant.
We were so were a lot of my comments, but we were 15 of 17 from the line, perfect, 12 for 12 in the second half. Gives us 88% for the game. They were 3 of 4. Again, normally we don't foul very much, or as Conestoga's coach might say, we don't get called very much.
Yeah.
Rebounding, there weren't a lot between the turnovers and our shooting percentage. But sometimes, unless you're an offensive rebounder, it just doesn't pay to play against the Blue Jays. That's what you do because we don't give you very many opportunities. So we out-rebounded them 18 to 12. They did get 5 offensive rebounds, about the only ones they had a shot at sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We got 3 offensive, and Cal Kissinger got one of those. We turned the ball over 14 times, but midway through the third quarter of the end, we did not turn it over once, and that was a key too. They turned it over 24 for the game, and whether we don't play our best or not, you turn the ball over 24 times against the Blue Jays, I guarantee we're going to win.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
It is. And those Blue Jays, of course, do a great job. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
forcing
Appreciate it.
those. But, hey, 4 turnovers they got 4 turnovers to start that second half. The Blue Jays,
We
they
did.
committed 4 turnovers, and then from there on out, they were non-existent.
Locked it down. So, again, we took care of the turnovers, played good defense. Again, I think Conestoga was a little bit cold tonight. That played in our favor, although I thought defensively we were getting out on their shooters as well. I think we did a nice job of scouting on their team who their shooters are and got a hand in their face. And, again, I thought that led to transition baskets. I thought we did a better job rebounding as well. We talked about, when you have a team that shoots a lot of three-pointers like Conestoga does, there's going to be long rebounds. And I think when Mark talked about offensive rebounds, we got caught on that a little bit, just kind of flat-footed with those long rebounds coming off and not necessarily checking out our man consistently. I thought we really shored that up too, Tim, towards the end of that third quarter and definitely the fourth quarter. And so we were getting defensive rebounds, pushing up the tempo, finishing strong, and boy, it feels like we're on a good path. We're rolling really well at an important time, moving into a championship game on Saturday.
Without a doubt, and just taking a look at that defense, we mentioned it now. Noah Simones did end up with 10 points tonight. Again, that's below his average, but Blue Jays did a great job on him. Jack Welch, who came in here averaging 10, just got 4. And Zachariah Smith, who came in averaging almost 11 points, held to just 2 points tonight.
Well, and again, I think we gave up 26 total, right?
Right.
And against a really good offensive group, right? A team that can really hurt you on the offensive side. So, again, we talked about the defensive a lot, but if we can hold that defensive consistency, we're going to be awfully tough to beat. And I do have a score update for so right now DC West is up 34-26 on Syracuse. So DC West made a little run there heading into the fourth quarter.
All right, and that may play out just as a lot of people thought with DC West hosting the Blue Jays. Should be a fun one. And by the way, how good is this defense? From your perspective, how good is this defense?
It's some of the better defense I've seen in a long time. And again, we're not the longest team out there. We don't have the most size. We have quick, athletic guys. But for me, what it really comes down to is understanding how to play the game of defense, right? It's about being in the right position. It's about being in help side. It's about taking the right angles. And so I think it's just what I enjoy about it is seeing truly a team defensive effort from our guys. Yeah,
and they do. Boy, you talk about team. This team embodies it without a doubt. Now let's take a look at the scoring for the Big Blue. 3 points tonight for Cal Kissinger. He had that lone tray that Jason talked about. Dane Jacobson put in 9 points. 9 points for Cade Bridges. The last time they played, Cade led the team with 20 points, but that's very consistent for Cade. He's always consistent. He got 9 tonight. Drake Zimmerman off the bench with 6. And 2 points for Ty Carey. 6 points for Derek Tonjes, the talented freshman, and Cougar Konzen put in 4, the senior. 6 points for Dawson Teese, the enforcer, who just seems to be scoring more and more all the time. And then Brooks Kissinger. I left him out because I got to count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 19, 21. So 21 for Kissinger. He just seems to really be filling it up at late. And here comes Drake Zimmerman up. He's going to talk with us tonight. But, again, Bricks with another great offensive
Tell you what,
game.
and again, he had a nice scoring game. Obviously, 21 points is a great scoring output. However, also would be curious, I'm not sure how many assists he had, but he had some really nice finds, some really nice looks as well. Just, again, a well-rounded player.
Well, hey, you're going to the finals of the conference championship. We were talking about earlier, I was being regaled with stories here from Jason and Jordan. Conference championship, pretty special. Tell me about what that feels like for you guys to have an opportunity to play in it.
Yeah.
And by the way, I didn't introduce you. Tyler Craven is on the mic now.
I think it's a great accomplishment by our guys to get to that point. It's not easy when you have 10 teams in your conference and you got to go through, each night. You got to be ready to go and win. And so credit to our guys for making it to Saturday at 6:15. That's pretty cool.
One more for you, and I'm going to hand it off to Jason. Coming into this one, because you had a chance to coach, Jack Welch this year. You know how good he is. You held him down to 4 points. When I say you coached him in the summer. Noah Simones, 10 points. The defense just, again, really rock-solid performance. Talk about that.
Yeah, I think it's a credit to, we put Brooks, we put Drake, we put Dane on those two. But it's also a credit to our other guys that are guarding others that are in the gaps, that are in the help side, that are able to rotate out of traps. And take those passes away. So it was a whole team effort to hold those guys to, what you said, 14 of their 26. So I think normally their percentage is probably above 50
right.
Accumulating for their team's points. So to hold it, right around there is pretty good.
Tyler, talk to me about the approach and the preparation tonight in comparison to Monday. We spent some time talking about, it's just a different feeling when you're playing a 6 o'clock game, no girls game beforehand. To me, it really felt like there was a different level of intensity and focus to start the game tonight. So just talk a little bit about how maybe you tweak things or change things related to preparation.
Yeah, I think our guys embrace the process of what it looks like to come be prepared, and how they can apply that, from tonight to future games to down the road in their life. And so you saw that tonight in the 12-2 first quarter.
Right.
And they were ready to go. They were business-like mentality, and they did a good job.
Well, listen, we loved it. Another one here for
just
Jason.
one more.
Yeah,
we talked. Obviously Brooks had a really strong offensive night, but we also talked up here on the broadcast about his ability to play defense as well, and I think maybe he was going to guard one of their better players tonight. So, talk about what probably one of your better offensive players is one of your better defenders as well, and what that means to a group and for a team.
Yeah, I think it's nice for the rest of the team to see a kid that is able to score, is putting up points, but then is also going to say, hey, I'm going to guard that team's best player. I'm going to work dig in here for our program. And so you see that, and then it's nice to have Drake there who can come in and relieve him a little bit, and Drake might wear them down even more. So we got a good group right now, and Brooks leads that.
You bet.
Well, listen, Coach, congrats. Championship game Saturday night. It's going to be fun, going to be electric, and go enjoy yourself.
It'll be awesome. So
all right.
Good job, Coach.
You guys. Yep, we got some great kids. So.
We appreciate you coming up, Coach Craven. And here's one of those great kids that Coach Craven talked about, and that is Drake Zimmerman. Drake and Bake Zimmerman, we call him. But tonight, I'm telling you what, that defense, you just make guys work all the time. Talk about your efforts tonight. Mr. Leibel said it. You've gone up against some really prolific scorers here tonight in Conestoga. They can really shoot. They can really score. So, talk about your defensive intensity against this team.
One of the biggest things we harp on is as coaches, they're always telling us just make the simple things tough. So, when I'm guarding full court, it's just having that hand right there, having that body there. Like you saw last game against Arlington. Their guard just kind of just lost the ball. You're always thinking in your head that hand's there, what's going on. So, it just makes them work that little bit harder. And then as the game wears on, they wear down. And then once you get third, fourth quarter, that's usually when you get a few more steals as long as you're staying out of foul trouble.
I'll throw one more at you before I give it up to Mr. Leibel. One of the things I always credit you is your strength. But Mr. Leibel said it tonight. He said one time you got stuck down underneath the bucket, right, and you stepped through. And he really complimented your footwork, and you hit a left-handed shot from the right side. Talk a little bit about the footwork, the work you've put into it, or has it just come naturally to you?
Well, TC is a lot of TC. He's always talking about us playing off 2 feet. That's probably the biggest things that they harp on us about for the coaches. So they're just making sure once we get to 2 and we're playing strong, the game's just so much easier. So once you do get to 2, you have so many more options than if you're going off 1 or stuff like that. And then when you are on both feet, you can really use your strength to your advantage a lot better than what you could 1.
You bet. So, Drake, we're heading to a conference championship Saturday night. So, assuming you guys have talked about that, it's probably been a goal for the team overall to get that thing done. So, talk about what it means to be moving now into that championship Saturday, and it looks like DC West has maybe extended a lead against Syracuse, so playing DC West in their own gym as well.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be exciting. I'm ready for a great atmosphere, but, we just got to make sure to show up. We got to have a really good performance. Last few games haven't been what we've wanted. So defensively, we got to stay locked in. Offensively, like I said before, playing strong, 2 feet. But, it's exciting. It's a great feeling, but we just got to go out there and finish.
One more quick one.
Yeah, fire
we
away.
talked about, preparation in the conference tournament looks a little bit different because you got just one game. There's no girls game in front of you. It's a 6 o'clock game when normally you're playing at 7:30 or 7:45. It looked like maybe Monday we came out a little bit flat. Certainly didn't see that tonight. So talk about maybe how your or the team's preparation changed from Monday to tonight.
We just been a lot more. We just got to be a lot more locked in overall. Sometimes there might be a few times where at practice there's a few times where we're goofing off, stuff like that. But I feel like definitely after that game, coaches definitely harped on us a lot. And we deserved it 100%. So our coach is also always talking about having a quick start. We feel like every game that we've had a fast-paced, good start. I mean, it's really tough to stop that momentum, doesn't matter what team you are. So going in there Saturday, we just want to come in, get a real quick start, get a lot of momentum build up, strong, good defense, just good performance.
Well said, Drake. And listen, go enjoy every second of it. I'm sitting with these two old guys talking about their glory days in high school, about conference championship games. You're going to remember this when you're 40 or 50.
Yeah, for sure.
So trust me, enjoy this and take it all in on Saturday night.
Perfect. Thank you, Tim.
You
Thank you,
got
Miss
it, buddy.
Love. Have a good night.
Thank you, Drake Zimmerman, for coming up. Drake and Bacon. Now we bring in Cade Bridges over troubled waters. When we need a bucket, and by the way, a listener, Cade, sent us that tonight. They think that should be your nickname. So when we need a bucket, it's Cade Bridges over troubled waters. You're way too young, aren't you, to know what over troubled waters is?
I'm going to be honest, I have no clue
No,
what you're saying.
no clue.
Have you ever heard of Simon and Garfunkel?
Nope.
Okay, yeah, there you go. So let's talk about something that's relevant to you then. Hey, look, again, we've been talking defense, but I want to start with offense tonight. At half, you guys have 22 points. You guys put up 43 in that second half. What did you guys do differently in that second half to really explode offensively?
I think we kind of just woke up, to be honest. We were playing pretty slow, especially the first quarter, and then the first 4 minutes of the second quarter. But if we can get out into transition and not turn the ball over, we're a hard team to beat.
You know, you're also a hard guy to shut down offensively. I mean, you're always ready to catch and shoot.
Yep.
Talk us a little bit through that process, because you're a very good three-point shooter. So what do you do to get ready for a shot? Because it seems like, again, you're not holding the ball very long. You're ready to go.
A big thing for me is, like, get my feet set. So if my feet are set, everything else kind of just follows through, and most of the time it goes in, hopefully. But, yeah, if my feet are set, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and Cade, what I love about your game, too, is you're not just a three-point shooter. I mean, you certainly have the ability to shoot the ball and shoot it very well, but I saw you attack a few times tonight. And what I loved is just your overall floor game, right? It looks like you were hustling, you were quick hands, you were getting some deflection. So talk about why playing that side of the game is important as well.
Kind of, especially when we start off slow, getting the energy up, and if you see your teammate kind of going for a loose ball that's a 50-50, you're going to try harder the next play. So just thinking like that, and hopefully we can get everyone going out into transition.
You bet.
Yeah.
You bet. So, and again, I mentioned his shooting. Now, I don't know that you're quite at the level that I'm at right now, Cade. So
And he's saying today.
Yeah. So
we're gonna have to have a horse game.
I need to get some practice in before that point in time.
I'm coming down bigger than that. Yeah.
So looking at scores, it looks like DC West beat Syracuse tonight. So we got DC West Saturday. Talk to me about what you're anticipating that type of atmosphere is going to be, and kind of leaving a legacy of going out with the championship in our final year of the conference.
Yeah, it's special to be in a championship game. Coming into the tournament, Mo said tournaments are what you want to win pretty much. It's a lot like at State later this year. Yep. It's game, day off. But going into that atmosphere will be fun, definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. This game was pressure-packed, but then you come up and you have to be interviewed by the superintendent of schools.
He did it so well. He did fantastic.
Thank you.
How much pressure is that?
It's not too bad. Me and Mr. Leibel talk.
And he didn't even like burst out laughing when I said I was a better shooter than him either. He could have, and I would have understood because he's a much better shooter than I am. But he was polite. You know, he's been raised the right way. Right? He feels sorry for old people like myself. You know, he didn't hurt my feelings. So just a darn good kid.
Josh and Mindy will be so thrilled tonight to see this. So you did a good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, Tim.
Hey, enjoy the game Saturday
good job, buddy.
night. It's great memory for you. All right.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
You betcha, buddy. Cade Bridges, cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Bridge over troubled water. Cade Bridges over troubled water. We'll ask Jake Mose. Cade Bridges over troubled water. Does that ring a bell?
I don't.
See, you're too young too. Simon and Garfunkel. No, all right.
Never heard of them?
Were they basketball players?
They were not. I don't. Well, they might have been. They could have been ballers.
Maybe
I don't know.
Paul Simon might have, but maybe not Art. But hey, let me ask you this. Your thoughts on this one tonight. Look, one of the I'm just gonna let's do this open-ended. Your thoughts on tonight? Give us that open-ended response.
Not up to our standard or potential. Too sloppy. So it is what it is. We're trying to work out some kinks on offense because we think our defense is really good, doing a solid job. When you're holding teams in the 20s, that's really good. It's really amazing, to be honest. But when your offense can't function and pass and catch, that's troublesome.
Yeah.
So,
I'll ask you. Give me two more here because I want to start with that defense. I just asked Mr. Jason Leibel, hey, how good is this defense? And from your perspective as a head coach, how good is this defense?
You go into a game and you try and take away the other team's strengths, and we always tell them we're never going to hold the team scoreless, and they're going to score. But honestly, we're not upset with them, but we almost want to pitch a shutout. We know that won't happen, but that's just kind of how good they are, to answer your question, is that when there's a breakdown, it's because usually, not all the time, but most of the time, it's because we didn't do something that is consistent and fundamental within our defense. Maybe it was we let a guy go to their strong hand and go from the mid-court line here all the way down the right sideline, all the way to the right baseline and shoot a layup. So we let him take 12 dribbles with his right hand and never cut him off or did anything like that. And so it's obviously a great strength of ours. And we're, perfection is not the goal, but the pursuit of perfection is kind of what we tell them. And so that's where we're at defensively, because they're pretty dang good.
So I came up to you before the game. We got good and bad news on this. I said, give me one number, one stat you're looking at tonight. And you said, hey, I want to be at 7 turnovers or less. And we didn't get there. However, here's the good news. The last, 12, 13 minutes a game didn't commit a turnover. End up with 14. So what'd they do to clean things up there in those last, let's say 12, 13 minutes of that basketball game?
Yeah, play basketball with a brain, I guess. I'm not trying to be mean. That's kind of a joke. But to play slow and with a brain, to be honest. The passes we're making, we're just – as coaches, we're flabbergasted because it's bizarre. Our kids are so skilled offensively. They can all dribble. They can all shoot. They can all finish. They can all get to the basket. They can do this and they can do that. We just don't know why they're throwing it out of the gym. We've worked on decisions and getting into those situations and what I want to do and what I need to do. And we're as frustrated probably as anyone, maybe more frustrated than we should be. But we just have such an high expectation for them on offense because they're so good that we don't want to give the ball to the other team.
We talked about this Monday, Coach, about preparation Monday night, and it's just kind of a different feel with the 6 o'clock game and no girls game before, and maybe came out a little bit flat Monday night. I certainly felt like we came out with a different level of intensity. Now we did turn it over, right? But I felt like there was just a different focus and lock-in from our guys. So talk about preparation.
Yeah, we I don't think we had the right mindset on Monday, and I thought we talked as coach and said, man, they do. They look locked in. They look ready to go. We thought we would have a really good start, and when you hold a team to 2 points and turn them over quite a bit,
you bet.
It was set up for that, but we didn't execute and finish and make the plays, and so that was disappointing because I think that could have put the squash on them right away. Right. Because as we left to come out, at the 4-minute mark, we kind of just said that, hey, we don't need a perfect start, but they might be unsure if they can play with us. So if we can go out and just be solid defensively, solid and consistent offensively, we might be able to kind of take away their confidence early.
Sure.
And we did it defensively to hold them to 2, but we only scored 10.
Right. Yep.
So.
Hey, it looks like DC West beat Syracuse 53-33. Now, it was a dogfight. I think Syracuse was up at halftime.
But boy, was I wrong, yeah.
But and Timmy picked the Rockets to win that one tonight. But so we're going into DC West house, right, for a conference championship. Talk about DC West a little bit, what you anticipate to see from that team, and just what it means to be playing in the conference finals here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're right where we want to be. We just didn't get there the way we wanted it to look. And so you have a chance on Saturday to maybe clean that up and fix it. Our guys have always rose to the occasion of the opponent. And so when you're at this point in that tournament, you're probably getting a better opponent. So I think that's really good for our kids that they can maybe get a little bit more excited for that because it's maybe a better opponent, maybe the tournament championship and things like that. And so that's I think really good for our kids, and obviously we're excited to be there. We just wish we were heading there with a little more momentum.
Okay.
And we get one day to practice, show some clips, clean some things up, take a breath. And if we can we've told them just get a little bit better. We're not trying to score 100 points or do anything crazy with our offense or our defense, but if we just get a little bit better, we'll be just fine on Saturday.
You bet.
Well, Coach, congrats again on the win. Enjoy Saturday night. It's going to be, I'm sure, an electric atmosphere in DC West since they host it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're probably ecstatic, that they got the win and can kind of take a breath now, and
you bet.
And the pressure of when you host it to try and get there, and so they're going to bring their A game and they're going to play with a lot of emotion.
Well, it'll be a lot of fun. Enjoy it. Enjoy every second of it, all right?
Good job, Coach.
All right,
Thanks for
coming
the
up.
game. Yep.
Appreciate it. Jake Mose with the victory tonight. Jason, I'll give you the final word here on this one.
Yeah, again, like Coach Mose says, we are where we want to be. Conference championship. Again, our last opportunity within the Capital Conference to get one. We know DC West, we're going to get a heck of a shot from those guys. They're going to be pumped up, ready to knock us off. And again, I think as Coach Mose talked about, just getting a little bit better, being a little bit more consistent. If we can do those two things, I feel really good about our opportunity Saturday night.
Well, I tell you, folks, thanks for sticking with us on the longest post-game show in high school basketball.
Kevin's even putting bleachers in now.
I love it. Kevin, I thanked you the other night. I'll thank you again as he does a great job. Well, once again, folks, the Blue Jays advanced to the conference championship with this 65-26 win over the Conestoga Cougars. The Blue Jays now at 15-1. Conestoga falls to 8-7. For an incredible crew of Mark Adele, Jordan Wallman, and Jason Leibel, I'm Tim Washburn saying so long. We'll see you this weekend.